seat, popcorn is on me.
Camera speed.
Sound production, take one.
Hello, welcome to Meet Me at the Movies. Noel T. Manning II here, hanging out with Thomas Manning. So good to have you joining us, however you choose to do that. Thomas, good to see you, man.
Always a pleasure to be here. Thanks for having me back. Even though, I probably made more mistakes than I deserve to be invited back, but hey, I'm still here. You can't get rid of me. I think it was just the masses were just demanding that I return. So
Yeah. Those non-viewers just keep on pouring in with asking questions about Thomas. Where's he been? Where's he been? So, yeah, Thomas has been really preparing for this show really since last year, since last August, I guess, or the end of July last year, because we're going to be talking about the 26th annual Reel-to-Reel Film Festival that is put together by the Cleveland County Arts Council. And crazy, 26 years, Thomas. This is your second year as the festival director. And we're really glad to have you with us talking about this. A big slate of films from countries all over the world, and student films, amateur films, professional films, the whole mix, documentaries, animation, feature films, shorts. It kind of covers that spectrum. So I'd love for you to kind of dive in a little bit. And for those who maybe have never heard of Reel-to-Reel over these past 25 plus years, give them a little background on this and why they should even consider checking out this festival that takes place in Kings Mountain, North Carolina at the Joy Performance Center. Make sure you give the dates as well.
that's right. So the 26th annual Reel-to-Reel International Film Festival will be held at the Joy Performance Center down there in downtown Kings Mountain. That is July 23rd through the 26th. Screenings begin at 7 o'clock nightly, and there's also a 1 p.m. Saturday matinee. So if you're doing the math here, that is a total of 5 screening blocks over the course of 4 days and 4 nights. And we'll have films from all over the world. It's truly an international film festival that was founded back in 2000 by one Mr. Noel T. Manning II and Will Eskridge. It was Will Eskridge. It was actually his, I think it was probably his brainchild, and then he brought you on board to kind of assist and provide some guidance. And now here we are, 26 years strong. Reel-to-Reel has paved the way for names that you certainly know. Names such as, well, the great Chadwick Boseman had a film at Reel-to-Reel all the way back in 2008. We had Bryce Dallas Howard. She's a Reel-to-Reel alumni. The Duffer Brothers, of Stranger Things fame, which Stranger Things, the final season is coming out this year, so I need to talk a little bit more about that too, don't we? So
That's right.
yeah, the Duffer Brothers, they had a short film from way back in I think it was the inaugural fest at Reel-to-Reel, and now they're some of the biggest names in Hollywood. And then we maintain relationships with some of the filmmakers over the years, and I think that's something that separates Reel-to-Reel or makes it stand out in a sense, is that we are a filmmaker centric festival. It's all about the artist. There's not a lot of the other pizzazz to distract from the films and the filmmakers at hand. We just want them to get their love and their respect that they deserve, because we know that without them we don't exist. So I think that's something that we take great pride in, is always keeping the focus on the artist at Reel-to-Reel.
Absolutely. And another alum, Jeff Nichols. I don't know if you mentioned Jeff Nichols, but last year had the film. What was the name of the film last year? The motorcycle film?
Yeah, the Bike Riders. Yes.
The Bike Riders.
Yes.
How can I forget that? The Bike Riders. But you got a chance to actually ask, or you were able to get that question in at a film junket, asking him about Noble Chrome Pirates,
yep, that's
which
it.
was a film from Reel-to-Reel, and he was kind of blown away that anybody would remember that, and especially at a film junket, 20 plus years later. So that was pretty cool. But yeah, another alum of Reel-to-Reel.
Yeah. Noble Chrome Pirates was his student film at UNC School of the Arts back, I think, in 2001 or so. And I think that was probably about the last time someone asked him about that film until I asked him about it in a junket for the Bike Riders. Just judging by his reaction, his eyes about popped out of his head there. And so that was, listen, all roads lead to reel if you really look at it.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, let's talk a bit more about some of these filmmakers that you have built relationships with, and you've only been doing this for 2 years as the festival director, but you also served reel to reel in the Cleveland County Arts Council as an intern a few years ago. So you got to build some relationships then as well. So talk about the impact that building those relationships with these filmmakers can have from year to year. You don't just see them once and talk to them once and they're gone. You continue to nurture and develop these relationships.
Yeah, and I think it goes a long way for them to recognize that we truly have a passion and a care for their art form and what they put out into the world. And as you mentioned, I interned back in 2020 when it was a fully virtual festival. So that was an incredible learning experience. But a filmmaker that stands out that I got to know then, who had a film at Reel to Reel, director John Gray, who you may know as the creator of Ghost Whisperer. He directed multiple episodes of Grimm. He directed a film called White Irish Drinkers with Stephen Lang and Karen Allen. And he's a Brooklyn, New York based filmmaker. And now he primarily works in the short film range. And we had that one great conversation back in 2020, but he's returned to Reel multiple times. I think he's had a total of 5 films here since then.
Wow.
Last year he had 2 films here. We actually don't have any from him this year, but I know he's always got something in the works. But I think that's just one example of the power of these small independent, maybe on the surface they're small independent festivals, but I think that's where you can develop some of the best relationships, both personally and creatively. Even just last week, I was interviewing a filmmaker who's going to have a film here, Reel to Reel, this year. That film is called Bite of Benin. I was talking to the co-directors of that, and that's something that they brought up toward the end of our interview, was that they've been able to have much more they've been able to find a much more positive reinforcement in these types of conversations with film festivals of our stature, rather than, taking it to a massive film festival that has, hundreds of thousands or millions of dollars of funding. Because we create that space just to keep it. We know the heart of what we're trying to accomplish and who we're trying to show the spotlight on. And I really think anybody who's been at Reel to Reel over the history, in the 26-year history, we've had multiple festival directors, of course, Will Eskridge, Paul Foster, Violet Arth, and I think all of us have taken that to heart, that it's about the artist, and we want anybody who attends the festival, artist or just audience member, we want them to recognize that, and I think they do. I think that's a really main takeaway from anybody who comes to Reel.
And it's not just the festival directors or the festival committee, the screening committee, or those who work at the Arts Council who get to interact with the filmmakers. The audience gets a chance to meet them, grab a coffee with them, to even do some Q&A with them, and get to spend some time with these filmmakers. And that's something that you don't always get at larger film festivals, and that's something that's always been very very interesting for Reel to Reel, and I've been fascinated by it. And I can't tell you how many times that I see people every single year when those tickets go on sale. They know they're going to be there because they know they're going to get quality films, a variety of films, but also they're going to get to spend time getting to know these filmmakers, and some of them developing friendships with them along the way.
Yeah. And, one other person I want to make sure to mention is a filmmaker named Ryan Stephen Green, who lives out in California, but he has family over here in Brevard and or just west of us in Brevard. He had a film last year called it was about payphones of Los Angeles, a short documentary about payphones of Los Angeles that are turned into public art pieces. We've stayed in contact for the entire past year, and he's actually going to be returning to the festival this year, just as a spectator, just as an audience member. And those there are relationships there for anybody a part of Real to Real who wants them. And I think that's an extremely special thing that we have going.
And another thing that many festivals are designed for the films to find distributors. That's not what this kind of festival is designed for. But it doesn't mean that can't happen with the films. And a couple of those films from last year were recently picked up by a distributor, and they're getting a little bit of love out there.
That's right. So the film that closed out the festival last year was called Sendero, directed by Michael Flores. Although now that it has been picked up for distribution, it's called Dogs on the Sendero, and it's a road movie. It's a journey through grief and reconciliation, and Sendero translates to the path. So, film about finding your path. And our audience just loved every minute of that film. And I know all of us were eagerly anticipating to hear the news of when people at large were going to get a chance to see it, and not just festival audiences. The news came a few weeks ago at the time that we're recording this that Good Deed Entertainment has picked that up, and that's getting a release later this year, and that's going to be available on streaming. It's going to have playing in some theatrical markets, I believe, in New York and LA. And then, you mentioned also another film. We had An Open Door, the Temple Grandin story, which was a documentary about Temple Grandin that was also picked up by Good Deed Entertainment. Just because we're not necessarily designed specifically to promote films to distributors, they will see the reception that those films get. They see the buzz that we create, and the more laurels that you can add to your small independent film, as either a reel-to-reel festival selection or reel-to-reel festival winner, studios will see that and will take notice, and they will oftentimes act on that if there's enough momentum there.
Absolutely. Thomas Manning joining us. I'm Noel T. Manning II. We are talking about the 26th annual Reel to Reel Film Festival, and that will be taking place when, Thomas?
That is July 23rd through 26th at the Joy Performance Center in Kings Mountain.
So go ahead and mark your calendars. When we come back after the break, we're going to talk about how these films are selected. We're going to talk about how many films. We're going to talk about a whole lot more relating to this year's Reel to Reel Film Festival. So stick around after this quick intermission. We'll be right back.
Won't you come and meet me at the movies? Won't you come and watch a flick?
As Cleveland County's premier event facility, LeGrand Center is the ideal location for any event. The LeGrand Center is located 45 minutes west of Charlotte, 45 minutes north of Spartanburg, and just a little over an hour east of Asheville. Whether you're a small business looking for a place for an off-site meeting or a bride looking for that special location for her wedding, LeGrand Center is the perfect place for you.
Won't you come and meet me at the movies? Won't you come and watch?
Hello, welcome back to Meet Me at the Movies. Noel T. Manning II here, hanging out with Thomas Manning on Meet Me at the Movies from C19 TV, and we are talking about the 26th annual Reel to Reel Film Festival. Thomas, you again, second year as the festival director, and one of the things that you saw pretty early on this year is this festival was really catching fire, and the entries are pretty solid this year. I think we're getting back to maybe some of those pre-pandemic years, maybe even earlier. Tell me a little bit about the growth and how many entries this year and how it compares to last year.
Yeah, we actually had a record-breaking number of submissions this year. We had 212 submissions, so that's enough to boil water. And as compared to last year, we only had hot water at 125 submissions. Which, hey, 125, we were still quite pleased with that, and we had some incredible films to show. But this year, I could tell pretty early on that I guess word had gotten around, whether it was through Film Freeway or through channels with independent filmmakers who had maybe been here last year, who spread the word about our festival, or the fact that I made it a mission to go to other regional and local film festivals and recruit other films and filmmakers and say, hey, we'd love to have you. I think you would be a great fit for what we're doing at Reel to Reel. I think all of that compounded, and that's why we had such a great number of submissions this year from 20 plus international countries, I think 20 plus states as well. We had submissions from every single continent except for Antarctica. But we actually do have a documentary that I believe part of it was filmed in Antarctica. Okay. So there, we have that. So it's very encourage to see. I mean, not that numbers are not everything, but numbers can be a reflection of some of the excitement, some of the anticipation. And so that is been it's really warmed my heart to see that our festival is making the rounds and reaching more and more people.
Absolutely. And when you think about it, we are very much a rural film festival from a standpoint of location. We are in between major markets. So if you're looking at from the market standpoint, you've got Asheville to the west, you've got Charlotte to our east, and then you've got Greenville, Spartanburg to our south. And so we're kind of in between these. And then you go over a state, and you've got Nashville that's got an amazing film festival that you had a chance to go and be a part of and see that as well. So we are kind of smack dab in the middle, and many times the rural festivals don't get that kind of love, and it kind of take a while for them to catch on. But really, the Reel to Reel has caught on from early on, and I think it's continued, and it's great to see this kind of growth with the amount of films that we're seeing. Over 200 plus entries, 212, I think you said, from 20 countries, 20 states. Pretty amazing. And the categories, Thomas, talk a little bit about the categories as well.
Yeah, so we have professional and amateur categories for short films, documentaries, and animated films as well. And we also have both a feature length and a short in all those categories. This year we got a really strong variety of, I think we probably have more documentaries than anything this year. And they tell a variety of stories that range from, epic tales of hiking the Appalachian mountain range to, very small, intimate stories about a single family and their family business. And so at Reel to Reel, we want to capture that entire range of human emotion, stories both, big and small, stories that can appeal universally to audience members, regardless of where they might be in their life. They can usually find something to identify with the story that they see represented on screen. And then we also have a great array of short films. We got some drama shorts, we got some action comedy short films. We've got some Guy Ritchie or Tarantino inspired shorts, and then some animation from UNC School of the Arts. And we even have a nearly feature-length documentary from Gardner-Webb University Department of Communications. They're working on a film program over there, which last year we played 2 of their short films here, and this year they have a documentary that we're going to be showing that's actually about the life of Governor Omax Gardner. And so I think regardless of which day you drop in for, or if you come for all days, the festival, there's going to be something that's going to grab you and that you're going to be able to really connect with.
Are there any themes that have kind of come out to you from a standpoint of you seeing these threads? Last year there were the threads of kind of grief and loss and overcoming that and finding your path. You mentioned the Sendero, or the Dogs of Sendero, and there were some other films last year that also dealt with loss and grief. And again, finding your path beyond that. So anything this year that thematically that is standing out?
Yeah, I think something that will be a through line throughout the festival this year is connecting with the natural world, connecting with outside, and how that is so intrinsically connected to who we are as humans. Yeah, like I mentioned, we got documentaries about mountaineering. We've got documentaries about how food can be something that is healing and can be an emotional outlet. And we've got short films about how sometimes all you really need in your life is a very simple flower that will fulfill something that's missing from your soul. So yeah, I really think I think nature is what's a theme that just kept coming back throughout all the submissions and then in the selections that we're going to have lined up for us.
Awesome. And this festival cannot happen without people behind the scenes screening these films, reviewing them, rating them, giving their thoughts, and really deep introspective thoughts on why these films are worthy of being shown to the attendees at the Reel to Reel Film Festival. Talk a little bit about that aspect and how these behind the scenes critics get a chance to weigh in and be a part of this.
Yeah, so we've got volunteers from just from the local community, but also from North Carolina Film Critics Association and Critics' Choice Association. And it's so helpful to have other pairs of eyes on these films, because as festival director, I try to watch every single submission that we have, but also it's nice to have other voices, other perspectives, other opinions to kind of help me decide, okay, is this a story that we'd like to fold into the narrative of the festival, or is this something that's going to be a little bit out of place and might not fit with our overarching message? And have we had too many films that are of this similar nature, or is this something that's going to add a unique variety that's missing? Those are all things that we have to consider when we're programming and selecting. And when you have over 200 submissions and you whittle that down to 38 selections, those other voices are invaluable, and they're all on a total volunteer basis. So I can't thank other people enough who have contributed their time and their energy, and they're just their efforts to engage with art as it is presented, and that really is something that I cannot thank them enough for.
And you do have sponsors that help put this together, and if people go to the website, give that website so people can find out more about the schedule, the festival itself, and those sponsors.
Yeah, so you can go to realtoreelfest.com. That is REALTOREEL fest.com. And you'll find full schedule of the films, the list of the sponsors, or you can just go to the ccartscouncil.org, the Cleveland County Arts Council website. That will also point you in the direction of Reel to Reel.
And I do want to send just a special thank you to Shara Miller, who allowed this to happen 26 years ago when Will Eskridge and I approached her with this idea, and she gave us encouragement. She said, "Yeah, let's do this. Let's see what happens." And here we are, 26 years later, and it's still happening. And so I just that would have not happened without Shara, and Shara has continued to be a supporter and an encourager of this. And so I just want to say a special thank you to her. I know that she has announced that she's retiring from the Cleveland County Arts Council, and so there's just a personal thank you, Shara, from me, and thank you for allowing this festival to continue to happen. I'm so happy that I was a part of it back at the beginning, and happy to continue to be a small part of it today. Thomas, we've got just about 3 minutes. I want to give you a chance to say the final word. Anything else you want to make sure you share about the 26th annual Reel to Reel Film Festival? I know you want to give the dates and the location again.
Yep, July 23rd through 26th at the Joy Performance Center in Kings Mountain, North Carolina. There in downtown. It's a great central location to grab a bite to eat beforehand and walk around, enjoy the outside fresh air. And then we'll have those 5 screening blocks if you're able to make them to all 5. Hey, we got a festival pass for you. We also have a VIP pass. You can find all those tickets on sale on the website reeltoreelfest.com or ccartscouncil.org. And if you buy the tickets in advance, you can save a little bit of money. So I would recommend doing that if you want, or we have tickets available at the door as well. And if you're there in downtown Kings Mountain, you won't be able to miss the marquee. It'll be right there and showing you, hey, Reel to Reel is here, and it's that time. It's that time again, and the whole town's going to be buzzing.
And you can also feel like a movie star because there's a step and repeat banner outside. You can have your picture made with Reel to Reel behind you. You can feel like a star. And also, what would a movie festival be without popcorn and refreshments? And there are refreshments that will be served that are available as well there. And I want to mention this. Last year, there was remodeling going on at the Joy Performance, and so I think this is the first time we're seeing it with kind of enhancements. Is that right?
Yes, it sure is. The renovations, I believe, are complete, and you'll get to see a bit of a new and improved, or at least I don't know, improved isn't the word, but it's a little bit fresher than it's almost a 80-plus-year-old building. So you might get to see a few new things that you haven't seen before if you've been to the Joy in the past.
Thomas Manning, our co-host here, but also today our guest on Meet Me at the Movies. Thomas coming on board here for this show as the festival director for the 26th annual Reel to Reel Film Festival. Thanks to the Cleveland County Arts Council for making that happen. Again, check out that website that Thomas mentioned. Get the full range of films, the schedule, and a whole lot more. And also, if you go to that website, you'll be able to see a link to the YouTube channel where Thomas has some interviews with some of the filmmakers as well. So we encourage you to check those out, past and present. We also encourage you to send us an email if you'd like to be a part of the non-viewer mail membership. Just send that to us, info@c19.tv, and we encourage you to check out all the programs for C19 and engage in every aspect of who we are. We appreciate you. We thank you. And until next time, for Thomas Manning, for the entire Meet Me at the Movies crew, I'm Noel T. Manning II, and that's a wrap.
Many films to view until we meet again. Next time we see you, we'll gladly fill you in. We'll tell about the happy and the sad ones. We'll talk about the good ones and the bad ones. Many films to view till we meet again.